only through intuitive perception. So here, Bhagavan Mahavir given a lesson that the power of Indriyas is limited and our reach is also limited. Indriyani nivartante, manhastato nivartate, tatratma darshanam punyam, dhyan leenasya jayate. The mind is liberated from its object after the sense organs have liberated themselves from the objects. Once a person became liberated from the both, his inner self reveals to him in the state of deep meditation. Yes, we can have that ray. Sometime we can understand that type of happiness, that type of bliss. How? We can understand that type of bliss when our eyes are closed, our speech is silence, and we are in deep meditation. And sometimes that sort of inner bliss and inner joy we can feel. So that is a drop in the ocean. But you imagine, O Megh Kumar, you imagine Atmalino Mahayogi Varsamatrena Sanyami Atikraman Atikramati Sarvesam Tejo Lesham Suparvanam. The ascetic who is absorbed in the self fully and is a greater yogi obtain joy far beyond which gods obtain just in a period of 1 year. So, you know, the divine beings, as I mentioned, human beings have to make effort. Whatever pleasure, whatever happiness, whatever they earn, they gain, and they like to get. But those people who are not aware of that, they spend their time. Similarly, the animal and birds, they don't have that type of treasure in them. And the hell is being always in the painful situation. So only human being. And in the human, if a true monk, he left everything, all the tie, all the notes of the worldly life, and they just absorbed in their meditation and in their own way of asceticism. They can attain that bliss even in 1 year. Endriyam manasam sokhyam. Then Bhagavan Mahavir explained more. Sabadham kshanikam tatha atmasokhyam anabadham sashvatam chapi vidyate. The pleasure of senses and sense organs, mind are transient and full of impediment, so many obstacles. But the joy of soul is unbroken and permanent. You know, we have eyesight after 30, 40, 50. We need a support of upanetra, chashma, eyeglasses. And time comes when old age comes, 80, 90, or 100. And sometimes people lost their eyesight. Sometimes, hearing. There is aid, hearing aid. But the time comes when hearing aid is not working. Even some people, they lost good or foul smells. Even the power of taste buds and touch. So all the pleasure is coming through the senses. And even we don't know a person how much he earned, but suddenly the things change. Sometime he lost. Sometime he lost his health. He is alive 100 years, but the power of happiness and health is not there. So Bhagavan Mahavi says, and even though it has its limit and decreasing as someone grows seasoned and old, the power of senses decreasing. We have seen such people, tremendous hard working people and tremendous memory power. They learn by heart more than 30, 40,000 slokas and verses. But a time came when they were 90. The mind is totally wiped out by the Alzheimer or dementia. So such disease comes, or some aging effect comes, and due to that, a person has no power. So all these, he Meg Kumar, Mahavira responded, all this sukh and happiness, which are based on senses, mind, and which are material, related to the material world, are constantly changing. And there are so many hurdles on the path of them. Today you are enjoying some sweet dish, but at some point, doctor said, oh, if you eat this, this could be a cause of your death. I remember a beautiful story. Once a king was so ill, and so many Vedyas and doctors came. They seen they were so great in the knowledge of Nadi, and they unanimously said, O king, if you want to live, now onward you have to stop eating mango. He was a king and so much fond of, like 3 months season. In India, we get seasonal fruits, but nowadays worldwide cold storage. And sometime the season is different in different continent. So like people over here, they get mango from Africa. So round the year, apple mango. So the king was really so fond of, so he used to keep so much mango in his storage, and he sent someone to bring from different countries. And so he loved mango every day. But now onward, doctor stopped it. They say you should not eat. If you eat, you will die. Then he said, okay. And then one experienced Vaidya said, Maharaj, now onward, you should not talk about mango. You should not see the art of mango, drawing of mango. You should not visit to the mango groves and gardens. He said, what a funny thing. These Vedyas are really very different people. And he loved mangoes, so everywhere he had different artifact of mangoes. So sometime he used to remember by looking at them, and then He said, yes, there is something. This way they told me not to keep this artifact, but I love. But they are not harming me. They are so good. At least I can't eat. I can see them and I can enjoy. After some time, his prime minister came. So many days passed, and now you are back to normal health. So why don't we go in a long tour outside of the city? And King was ready. He said, yes, I'm quite healthy and I gained my health back. And nowadays I'm not even talking about the mango. So much long time passed and they went so much away from the city, and luckily, where they reached the farms of mango. And mango season is very different season because even the peacock, this coil, cuckoo, cuckoo bird, when she had that smell of unripened mango manjari, they start kuhukku, and a melodious voice comes out from their throat. So the coil, the cuckoo bird are singing so melodiously, and the fragrance in the air, unripened mangoes and ripened mangoes, and King was so happy. But the Prime Minister said, O King, let us go back. We don't want to go on this path. Let us have different exit from here. He said, no, I want to see this garden area. He said, no, because Vedya told us you should not see, talk, and have fragrance of mango. He said, oh, Vedyas are so much fussy. They have prejudice in their mind. Oh, I'm not eating mango. Let us go. Then they both went in the mango garden, and there are so much mango. The trees are full of mango and they are so towards the downside. After that, they get down from their horses, and then the king said, I'm so tired. Let me have some sleep. And they made a simple bed under the mango tree, and King was taking a light nap, small nap. What happened? Suddenly, there was a wind, and in the wind, a ripened mango, a big mango, fall down on King's lap. Now King started taking that mango in the hand and taking smell. Oh my God, so much ripen, so sweet smell and fragrance. Wow. So he started praising mango. So what a good luck. Automatically it came down. But the Prime Minister said, Maharaj, this is life threatening for you. So please don't take in your hand and keep it away. Keep it away. He said, you gone mad? I'm not eating. Just I'm taking fragrance of it. I like to keep in my hand. I'm enjoying. So you should not say like this. I'm not a child. And he started taking smell, and then he took one bite. And after that, he taken full mango juice. pulp, and after few minutes, King died. So the pleasure of 5 minutes, because the Vedya given him such a medicine which is counter. If you take mango, you will die there and then. And that's why they wrote such a hard prescription not to see mango, not to talk about mango, not to go nearby mango, not to smell mango, not to eat mango. So it is the second, all these are secondary causes. Secondary causes, if you want to really keep yourself safe, try to avoid the secondary causes. So, what is the crux? All the senses, they gain pleasure, they gain gather information from the outer world, feeding to the mind, and mind taking them inside, and then time to time it is retrieved. So, Endriyam Manasam Sokhyam Sabadham Kshanikam Tatha Atmasukhyam Anabadham Shashvat Shashvatanchapi Vidyate. The pleasure of senses. The juice of mango was momentary for the king. The pleasure of sense organs and the mind is always momentary, and so many obstacles are there. So the permanent joy is coming through the soul. Sarva karma vimuktanam janatam pashyatam samam sarvapeksha vimuktanam sarva sanga pasarinam मुक्तानां यादृशं सौख्यं तादृशं नैव विद्यते संपन्न सर्वकामानां नृणामपि सुपर्वणाम्. The happiness derived by those liberated souls who are free from karmic bondage, who see all and know all, who have no expectation at all, and who are free from all attachments, is of a kind which cannot be attained by the people given to sensual pleasures and given by the gods. So, sensual pleasure or divine pleasure, we cannot compare with the pleasure or the blissful state of a liberated soul, because that is a different world, very subtle type of happiness. Because at our state we cannot narrate them. Sukh rasi vimuktanam sarvadha pindito bhavet so anant varga bhaktah san sarvakase matine. Then Bhagwan Mahavir explained, if the universal joy of liberated soul is added together and categorized, and if each category is put in one region of the other space, the outer space will be too short to contain all these categories. Our happiness and pleasure. Normally we say, oh, we visited in that place. So beautiful. We have taken that type of pizza or that type of pasta, cake, or different type of things. And finally, we feel, oh, these pleasure are momentary, only until we eat. After that, only a part of memory. But the pleasure of a liberated being, the bliss of the liberated being, if Bhagavan Mahavir given one example, we are in the universe and beyond the universe is supra universe, yani alok. And if they try to gather all the happiness of a liberated being, we cannot contain even the alok. And alok is infinite time bigger than lok. So how we can understand that blissful state of the liberation? यथा मूकः सीता स्वादम काम मनुभवन्नपि साधना भावमापन्न न वाचा वक्तुर्मर्हति. यथा मुक्तः, if a person, he is a mook, means he cannot speak, as a dumb person cannot express his sense of sweetness, of sugar, as a jungle dweller dazzled by the sight of mega city cannot describe it to those who have never seen it. In the same way, a yogi cannot put into word the direct experience of spontaneous bliss despite having experienced it, because it is undescribable. Means even through the words we cannot explain that state. Sarve vacha nivartante, all the vocal capacity stop there. O Meg Kumar, do not doubt this indescribable feeling. You cannot describe, you cannot explain. Intellectualism has its limitation. Our buddhi has limit. It does not have access of that liberated experience because that is beyond all the senses. The reals are two kind, knowable through reasoning and unknowable through reasoning. An intellectual who employ reasoning, they get the limitation of this world only. Those reals which are experienced through the sense organ and mind admit of the use of reasoning. Beyond them, reasoning is of no avail. It is not logical. In Vedanta philosophy, they have one philosophy of Netivad, means what is Brahman? And they say Neti Neti, means Brahma is not eyes, not body, not mind, not world, not house, not anything else. No comparison at all. So the person has right belief who employ reasoning to understand the real, which can be understood through the reason, and who willingly and respectively believes in the reals, means the permanent existence of soul, and cannot understood through the reasoning, because something is beyond the reasoning. And in that state we have to have the guideline from Bhagavan Mahavir's teaching, both sacred writings, the agams, and respectful belief towards the teaching of Mahavira, determining reals through the reasoning, are needed to know about the experience of trans sensual, real, or object. The Two together provide a full understanding. Means one who meditate, one who contemplate on the teaching, and slowly that understanding open the path towards the real understanding, and that is samyak darshan. And those who are attached to the sensual and mental pleasure cannot experience the natural and spontaneous joy of the liberating state. And such people always try to find tasteful objects and relishing their taste buds, smell, and making pleasure and produce their effort in only worldly things. In the same way, the soul has its enormous joy and it is covered with our fickleness of mind and sense organs. So, how to change the path? How to change our own path? O Meg Kumar, Bhagwan Mahavir said, so long as action and attitudes do not become introvert towards Atmamukhi, means turning towards the self, and their external working does not stop. It is not possible for even fraction of nanosecond the spiritual joy manifest. We have to change our path, our thinking. कायिके वाचिके सुखे तथा मानसिके पिचे रज्यमानस्ततोर्ध्वस् न लोको दष्टुमर्हति. A person engaged only physical and verbal and mental pleasure cannot transcend and cannot go beyond the limit of sense organs. And therefore, O Meg Kumar, give up the doubts and raise yourself, come out from the mental exercise and contemplate on the stoppage of karmic matter that is somewhere, and discipline your sense organs, because our existence is full with the material world. But how we can find the path? So the finding the path means discipline your senses and steadily concentrate on the soul. Sambikhaye appagamappayinam, आत्मा के द्वारा आत्मा को देखें. See yourself through yourself. Spiritually elevate yourself, and that elevation, what I am and what is the reasoning and how I can come out the limited reasoning and direct my experience towards beyond the sense organ. Therefore, Lord Mahavir said, the Lord preached about the most sublime spiritual bliss. He was the basis and origin of the scripture, and he was most enlightened. So, enlightened Bhagavan Mahavir, given a path that use your sense organ, change their path. When you discipline them, they become your friend. And when they are not disciplined, they became your foe. So your indriyas, your mind, make them your support, but turn their path towards spirituality. And this is the path of bliss. This is the inquiry into the path of bliss. And this is all about the fourth chapter of book Sambodhi. Today we have taken this book and Sambodhi, Acharya Mahapragya's very important book, and luckily it is translated into Hindi. Originally, this is written in Sanskrit, then translated into Hindi, then translated into English, translated into Gujarati. So, through this book, the inquiry into the bliss, and Meg Kumar really raised very, very important question for the common man. We have our limit up to sense organs, then minds, and through the mind, through our imagination, and the what is our past history, we make our future. But Mahavir said, yes, at this existence, senses and mind are always there, but it is you who can change the path. You can change the path and change your path and make it blissful, peaceful, and happy. And when the path is changed, the senses and mind is disciplined through meditation, contemplation, and swadhyay, then you can have slight taste of liberation in this life. Om Arham. If you have any question, feel free to ask for 5 minutes. Unmute yourself and you can ask the question.
वंदना समनी जी,
Yes.
ये जो संबोधि बुक का जो आपने बोला, वो आपने बोला आचार्य महाप्रज्ञा जी की लिखी हुई है.
Yes.
एंड the questions are from any scriptures के આપણે આગમો के questions हैं कि
Question is from Meg Kumar. As you recollect, like previously, I did few lectures, and then it is stopped on the request of other people. So because I have taken Panch Parmeshti, otherwise, so the Meg Kumar, he was a prince, son of
yeah,
Kumar, King Srenik.
yeah,
At childhood, he became a monk,
mm,
and when he became a monk, he got so much disturbed in one night and he made up his mind to go back. Then
yeah,
Mahavira given him Jati Smriti Gyan, the knowledge of past life. And then through the past life knowledge, he became so stable in the monkhood. And he spent his time in fasting, in meditation, and the service of Sangha, and he got the knowledge of 14 Purvas. And during the beginning time, he raised so many questions. Oh Bhagwan, we get knowledge from sense organs and our mind and our imagination. And
it's
you
like
are,
Gautam Swami did
yes,
the questions. Yes.
Gautam raised the question about Bhagavati. And
Yeah.
similarly, Acharya Mahapragya composed Sambodhi like a Gita. So in Gita, when Arjun raised so many questions to Krishna,
Mm.
similarly, here is 18 chapter. So today
Mm.
I finished fourth chapter.
Fourth, right.
And
मेरे पास है गुजराती में शायद.
huh. So in the fourth chapter, the about the senses, the limitation of senses, the mind, the thought, and the pleasure and happiness, and physical body itself. So all these questions he raised that we have this and how we can go beyond that, because all the happiness, all sukh dukh at our stage is can be experienced through the physical body and through the mind and through the speeches. Someone is praising, oh, what such a lady, such a nice person. And someone says, what type of this lady? These two words can change our whole thinking. So,
Yeah.
we are all affected by words, by material things, and
Mm,
with our mind, our body, and we can feel sukh and dukh through our body and mind and our speech. So, how it is, what type of liberation and what type
mm,
of that sukh, and how we can get, and
mm,
that can be felt sometime if you
mm,
are in meditation, and very blissful state comes,
mm,
might be for 3 to 5 minutes, and
mm,
after that you feel, oh, that joy I
mm,
cannot compare. If my husband gifted me a full set of diamond, I
mm,
never felt that type of bliss in a delicious party and in a restaurant, or I
mm,
never felt that type of bliss in any physical joy, or I never felt that type of bliss in any holidays.
mm, mm,
And that is really different. You cannot
mm.
compare. You cannot
Yes, true.
compare.
True.
So
Mm,
similarly, the bliss which is beyond the material world is the bliss of liberation. So at
mm,
our
mm.
stage we can have that type of bliss sometime.
Yeah. Mm. Now, very nice questions. I haven't heard the previous sessions, but today I heard. So yeah, it was nice. Yes.
Might be when someone can
Every
edit.
Sunday, are we doing this, Samniji?
At the moment I'm doing this,
Okay.
and might be during this imbil oli I can do different lecture.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Might be.
Mm,
And also we have planned Navratri
mm,
evening time job, so
mm, mm,
we will let you know. And
mm.
once in a Sunday, like all might be after one
Mm,
alternate Sunday, we
mm.
can do 6 hours preksha meditation camp, but one lecture will be there, so I can take
Yes.
somebody or
Mm.
something else.
Something. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. Very nice. Thank you, Samniji.
Mm.
Kritajna.
So now be ready for Mangal Paat. जुड़े हुए हाथ, आंखें कोमलता से बंद, संकल्प करें पूरा दिन मंगलमय, शांतिमय, आनंदमय रहे। नमो अर्हंताणम, नमो सिद्धाणम, नमो आयर्याणम, नमो उवज्झायाणम, नमो लोये सब्बसाहूणम। एसो पंच नमोक्कारो सब्ब पावपणासनो मंगलाणम च सब्बे सिंह पढ़मं हवै मंगलम। चत्तारि मंगलम, अर्हंता मंगलम, सिद्धा मंगलम, साहू मंगलम, केवली पन्नतो धम्मो मंगलम। चत्तारि लोगुत्तमा, अर्हंता लोगुत्तमा, सिद्धा लोगुत्तमा, साहू लोगुत्तमा, केवली पन्नतो धम्मो लोगुत्तमो। चत्तारि शरणं पवज्जामि, अर्हन्ते शरणं पवज्जामि, सिद्धे शरणं पवज्जामि, साहु शरणं पवज्जामि, केवली पन्नतं धम्मं शरणं पवज्जामि। ये 4 शरणा सगा और सगो न कोई, जे भव्य प्राणी आदरे, अक्षय अमर पद होय, अक्षय अमर पद होय। सिद्ध साधु प्रणमी करी, ऋषभादिक 24, स्तवना करूं प्रमोद धरी। जय जस कर जगदीश, जय जस कर जगदीश, जय जस कर जगदीश।